and you were saying like you were going to give up because you couldn't hold on those when I was
No different to you.
Yeah. Like I had to chip away there, but
But you changed everything to do it. And you changed what your mindset, you changed the way your team went, you changed everything.
Yeah.
And you threw everything, but you didn't give up.
Yeah.
And you did it.
Yeah.
You know, so that it's the want that I believe it's more desire. And if you have the desire and the people around you that buy into it, you'll make it.
Yeah. This reminds me of the story that we were talking about also off air, where you raced at Oran Park with a broken leg. And that's basically when I looked at you back then as a kid, and I was smaller than you, right?
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, if he's racing with a broken leg, because your wife Zoe's teaches autism, I have autism, right?
Yep.
So I was thinking, if Tom can race with a broken leg, I can get past my mental disabilities and race a kart fast.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Obviously,
100%. It took a little bit. It's funny, like, so it was a broken ankle and foot, and I wasn't going to stop. Like I didn't think it was that bad, but it probably wasn't a great decision considering it was my brake leg. But I think I was faster for it because I was crazy in a go-kart. So I think I actually had to think a little bit and slow down. So it definitely helped, but it's just desire. And like Zoe, that's what she does. She teaches autistic kids. I've had kids in karts that are autistic. She picks them from a mile off. But I can tell you one thing. When you guys get your head around the first 3 laps, I find it's the first 3 laps, and you're able to, understand that it's not everything's going to be, you can't control everything else. You can only control what you're doing, and you can go with the flow. There's no one that can lead as well. I don't care what anyone says. There's nobody that can hit their marks and lead as well. Once they get in front, and if it's lap 3 and the cart's going to keep on coming on, it's like, goodbye. There's no mistakes.
That's
it's
what
like,
Dan
wow.
does. Because he went into the store, it could have been like 2 or 3 years since you've been in it in December. Chucked a massive tantrum on the first 2 days.
Due to Wally's story.
Because you were like, you and Wally. I turned off on the Sunday because he kept saying to me, it's not what I was expecting. It's not this, it's not that. Typically, because I know when he gets that mindset, it's like, I want it to be like the Kent. And I'm like, we're all like, even Bart was like, it's not, Dan, get over it. Rocks up on the Sunday, and then he's going through the video, and then Bart's taking him through, this is what you'll do here, 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 and here. And he listens, does it, and then all of a sudden, it's like you said, it just clicks. And then you just watch him, and then we're just watching him hit the corners. We're at the right mark, overtake people, going around. We're like, he's got it, finally, yes.
With 2 laps to go, I nearly won, because by the end of the weekend, Bart and Brooke were like, you got to get over this. Because that's the thing with autism. You would have seen, obviously, growing up with me, I'd obsess over things. You see the autistic people, they obsess over things.
Yep.
And Bart and Brooke obviously works with me now because she lives with me as well. There's that thing of trying to like separate it apart. And I guess for you teaching autistic kids, do they have like a certain drive? Does every kart that you teach have a different driving style, or do you teach them to a way to?
Yeah, maybe they do. I don't.
Have you noticed?
They probably do, but I change it.
Yeah.
Even if they don't like it. Like they definitely do. But you can tell like you said, like autism, you're stuck in your ways. Like that's the way that I ate this for breakfast. This is how I do it. That's my spot. That's where I sit.
Yeah.
It took me a while to learn that, and Zoe helped me with that. And then I went, I reckon that kid that I helped 5 years ago, I reckon he may have had autism. Never asked a question, but I just assumed.
Yeah.
And now it being more known about, there's definitely I definitely teach differently there, because you've got to use the word. I say to you, your braking technique, you need to fix this. You need to use less pressure here, there. If you don't understand that and don't get that, you most of the time you go, yeah, okay. But you'll go and do the same thing and just like, well, the kid's not listening. But it's not the fact. It's they don't understand what you're saying. So you've got to do it a couple of different ways. And at one point, as you just said, all of a sudden it'll be, bang. And it's like a look. It's like, they've got it. Yeah. Okay, sweet. But it's interesting. Like every kid is a little bit different. Like some are visual, some aren't. You know, some can read data. Others look at data and go, oh, they're squiggly lines, you know, and get lost. You know, and like at my team, we do a lot of data. I don't have anybody. Well, Ellie does download a lot. Elliot they help me with it. But a lot of the data running through it is me, and I sort of think about it. I actually think back to me, like imagine if I did data, and I would be completely lost. And I couldn't come up with an excuse of, oh no, that wasn't the problem.
Yeah.
But it's very, the kids are very these days.
Technology based.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I was going to ask, obviously, at the start of the podcast, where you and I grew up in that analog era and we had to learn everything very like basic. And obviously the kart teams that are around now, like your team, I don't know, there's many teams.
Very different.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? They're more set out, like more structured, where we kind of turned up in like in a trailer and very basic, put the kart on the track and go. And that's kind of what I can tell from what you did with the Dubbo trip. Do you know what I mean? That's
Great
what Bart,
basics,
that's what Bart did with me though. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Camp at the track, bring it back to basics. Like the only thing I'm disappointed I didn't do at Dubbo is I didn't do Spotlight because it went dark so late. Like those fun things, bring it back to basics, because that's why we did this. That's why we fell in love with what we did. I feel now the team, my team, all the teams, very professional. From when we were, there was probably one professional team, which was Tim Craig's.
Yeah.
And it was like revolutionary.
Yeah.
I look back at it now and I look at, you know, Tim Craig and Tony Kart, you know, Jim Morton's team, they were both, you know, juggernauts. I felt that Tim's was sort of Tim. I look up to Tim the way he did it from back then. Like, you know, the way that he ran his team back then was pretty cool. Like
he runs his Pulsar team like Kart One now.
Yeah,
though.
he would.
Like,
he would.
It's just everything is like structured, and it's kind of like what you're doing too, though. Like I've got to ask about your kart team. You'd obviously have. Do you have like a roster in a way, and do you have like a squiggly line way?